Anyway, happy birthday, America. I don't know what part of this is going to be the intro, but we just have been talking for long enough, and I don't want it to be like 11 o'clock again. It's always like, oh, it should be a short one, and then we're here at 12 midnight.
Yeah.
You have kids. I should leave your house.
It's okay if we're up late. I'm going to sleep in tomorrow anyway. I'll make her get up with the kids.
Oh, smart.
Oh,
Smart.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Sleeping in with kids is what, like 6:30?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
About
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Usually they're up at 6.
None of this has been usable, so I'll just say I don't know how to start the podcast. So that literally might be like second 5 that just passed of what's actually making it to the recording, or something along the lines of Welcome Late to Movies. My name is Ben Holt, and this is a podcast where my friends and I get to fill in our movie blind spots this week. The movie, continuing High School Movies Month, a theme that I wish I had been more specific with, but I had COVID when I had to come up with it. Yes, we did it in June. Yes, we did it last September. This time it's a little different, and I'll tell you why. But not yet. The movie this week is 21 Jump Street, the 2012 kind of sequel to the 80s and early 90s TV show with a guy who's been in an episode before, and we strategically didn't mention his name.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He was also in Nightmare on Elm Street, and we
Yes.
didn't talk about him.
Oh.
Oh, really? Huh.
I was going to talk about him because...
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. We can talk about Johnny Depp in this episode.
Oh, he said
It's
it.
fine. Oh, fuck. Oh, God, he's here.
He's coming.
Here.
He's
Oh, my
coming.
God. Oh, it's okay. His scarf's got stuck in the blinds. He can't make it in. Anyway.
He lost one of his colorful wigs.
Oh, God.
As soon as Johnny Depp showed up in this movie, tell him what you said. I was so pumped.
I said something about Ben loving movies with Johnny Depp having weird hair. Revealing himself to be someone else.
Yeah, surprise. It's actually Johnny Depp. Ben's
Yes.
favorite reveal.
Yeah, yes, the worst reveal in cinema history. It's not happened a lot, but it's weird it's happened twice.
Yeah, I got a really good laugh because I did not know it was coming.
That, like, a twist towards the end of the movie that a character was Johnny Depp the whole time. Yeah,
Did
it's
not
weird
know
it's
that it
happened
happened.
twice.
Yeah.
It's weird it's happened twice.
So I got a good laugh.
Unfortunately, I think he's good in this and funny in his cameo in this.
Yeah.
He is, yeah.
And we'll get to, it's 21 Jump Street, the 2012 Lord and Miller movie starring Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill. A bunch of people involved in this that we haven't really talked about before, but before we get to that, my guest, your guest, everyone's guest, left to right, across your podcast out, we got Ray.
Hi.
We got Greg.
Hey.
Hey. I felt the urge to go, thank you for welcoming me into your lovely home, which I've never said before, but it feels like it'd be nice. Maybe I should.
Oh, yeah. We've been
Okay.
waiting for you to say that every time.
Yeah. Finally, we've broken the glass on that. Anything you guys watched recently? I'm rusty. I haven't done an away game in a bit, so.
I don't think so, right? I don't think we've seen fucking anything lately.
I don't know the last time that we talked about it. I saw Oppenheimer.
Yes.
I don't know if we mentioned that on the last one.
I think yes.
Okay. Then
Nothing.
Not a damn thing.
I saw Elementals
Oh, I guess I did see Elementals.
or Elemental.
Yeah.
I don't know
The
which
Pixar one.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah. It was fine.
Pixar, I don't know what's going on with them. They lost a step.
Yeah, man. These kids' movies just don't appeal to me like they used to.
Right?
I don't know what it is.
20 years ago,
It's
these
not me.
movies were good. I loved them.
I know it's not me. But ever since I turned 30, these Pixar movies have so much less appeal for me, I feel like.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, though, because, like, I think as recently as Soul, maybe Luca, whichever one came out last that year, which I think was Soul, I was kind of like, oh, cool, like, they're trying a new animation style. Cool. But, like, I don't think I've checked out the last few Pixar movies. Ever since Lightyear, when I was just like, ugh,
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be up my speed. But hey, I don't know, like, they're not for me. At a certain point, I can admit that.
Yeah.
But whatever. We'll be all watching it when it makes it into Best Picture.
I don't know. Maybe.
No other movies are going to come out this year, so we'll see.
That's true.
All the
So is
big
this
ones
our
keep getting
chance?
pushed back. We should put out a movie, you
Yeah.
think? Yeah.
This would be our year.
This is the year.
There's only going to be about 20 movies that come out this year. So,
Is that true?
No, I mean, we're already way past that, but I just Dune got moved back. The sexy tennis movie got moved back from the director of Call Me by Your Name. I know how you guys feel about that.
Love that.
So yeah, I'm still mad about Dune 2 being moved back, but not because of anyone who's on strike right now. Is the greed. Oh yeah, when we're here, we talk about the strikes. They're still happening.
Still happening? Oh, I guess that's why there has been a lot of movies, huh?
Yes, that's why the movies are getting pushed back, because the stars of the movies can't promote them. And the studios want the stars out there. So all the Zendaya movies got pushed back because they want Zendaya on talk shows.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yep.
So yeah, there's movies that are finished that they're just not going to put out.
There's a lot of indie movies that are going to come out. And there's some movies that are just like, they sell themselves or whatever. But like the smaller movies that have stars in them that are going to be Oscar plays, a lot of them are going to push back. And then I guess just because Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet are in Dune, they figure like they want those guys on the campaign trail also.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, the Wes Anderson movie that did come out this year, Asteroid City, was awesome. And he has, last time we talked about Wes Anderson, which was pretty recently on the Rushmore episode, I mentioned that he has a short coming out on Netflix very soon, before the end of this month. The Wonderful Life of Henry Sugar, which is a 40-minute Roald Dahl adaptation, live action this time, not like Phantasm Mr. Fox stop motion. And he actually has 4 shorts on Netflix coming out before the end of the year. One's coming out this month, and I think there's one coming out like every few weeks after that. So a lot of Wes Anderson, spoiled for choice with the Wes Anderson this year.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I like that he's doing shorts too, because I feel like in his movies, he already has a lot of miniatures, and now it's like the whole movie's
the whole
a miniature.
thing's miniature. It's just like one of the thirds of French Dispatch, and you just take that and put it into its own thing on Netflix.
There we go.
Yeah. So that's as if in case you couldn't tell, I haven't really watched anything lately either. So I figured let's just talk about that. Yeah. I haven't had like a ton of attention span since COVID for movies, unfortunately. I do want to go see the new Poirot movie. We talked about in Whodunit Month, the Poirot, Murder on the Orient Express. The new one from Kenneth Branagh, A Murder in Venice, A Haunting in Venice. That's the name of it. It's come out. Apparently, people really like it. People are saying about it. So it's Kenneth Branagh, who did Belfast, and then the other Poirot movies recently, Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile. And I didn't realize people liked these movies as much as they did, because people are like, oh, he's got to keep making these. The new one's the best yet, but I've loved all of them. And I like distinctly remember everyone making fun of Death on the Nile. And Gal Gadot saying, enough wine to feel denial. And I guess people actually liked it. I didn't see that one. Oh, well. Anyway, the new one is out this weekend. So by the time you hear this episode, you can skip work and go see it.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, you should. What else? Sorry, I didn't mean to go into Jay Leno. Let's talk about the movie.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's do it. So this is a movie I've seen a bunch of times before. It's by Lord and Miller, who I think this is our first Lord and Miller directed movie we've talked about on the podcast, but they were a duo of filmmakers and TV show runners, and now mostly producers that we talked about a lot. Mm-hmm. They produced Mitchell's vs. Machines. They almost directed Solo. Not that we've done Solo, but I think all the good parts of Solo were directed by them. Before this is 2012. I think they'd already done Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. The first Lego movie isn't out yet, but is coming soon-ish. Back in the day, Clone High on MTV, which has recently had a new season. Yeah, it's Lord and Miller. We haven't talked about them before. All that to say, I've seen this movie before, but you guys haven't, right?
Nope. Have not seen it. Did not realize it was them until the end.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. There you go. It's not quite as frenetic as their pace is now, but there's a lot of that stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as soon as the credits started and I saw them, I was like, oh, those like weird, like, not cutaways. I don't know what you call them when they're doing the drugs.
Yes.
And it like plasters things onto the screen. I was like, oh, it makes more sense
Mitchell's
now.
versus the Machines,
Yeah.
which does the same thing a
love that.
lot. That's a Mike Randa film, but they produced it and it's got that flavor.
Yep.
I feel like this was in Prime's being able to see movies for free era for you, isn't it?
It was.
So I was surprised you hadn't seen this because
I remember this one coming out and me thinking like, oh, this looks funny. We got to go see it. And then I don't know what happened.
It did pretty well. It was number one for a little bit.
I don't remember what happened around that time, but I think it was one of those that I just kept meaning to get to and just didn't get around to it. I don't know what else came out around that time.
Yeah, we might have just seen a bunch of other stuff and just didn't
maybe
catch it.
It's possible.
But yeah, no, I was definitely working at the movies when this came out. I just didn't get to see it.
Yeah, cause that's why, I mean, it worked out for tonight's purposes, but yeah, I was surprised. I figured that would have been something that you just like get to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like, I wasn't super excited when it came out. You know, I was just kind of like, yeah.
I can see like if you had other plans, not making a special trip for this on, on its face, it doesn't seem like it's going to be necessarily, in my mind, as good as it is. I don't think people thought Channing Tatum was funny when this movie came out.
No, I didn't.
This was before Channing Tatum had done a lot of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which at this point, you'd probably trust Channing Tatum more, but I don't think people thought of that, of him that way in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So, all that to say, who wants to give us a 1-minute plot summary?
Sure.
We all pointed at Greg. Yeah. Go for it.
So our movie starts with our characters, I can't even remember their names, Schmidt and Jenko. They're in high school. Schmidt sucks. Jenko's a douche. It fast forwards a little bit, and they're at the police academy. Jenko can do all the physical stuff. Schmidt can do all the tests, so they become best buddies. They graduate together. Being cops sucks because they are bad at it. They end up getting put into an undercover division because they look like children. They get sent to a high school to find a drug ring. They end up getting into the opposite groups of the cliques that you'd expect.
20 seconds.
It's funny. They end up fighting with each other kind of in a romantic comedy way. And then they make up as buddies and then do like an action sequence at prom where a bunch of adult police officers sneak guns in and have a shootout there, which is very topical. And then they get the bad guy and their best friends and they do it. Yay.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about the shape of it. So this is, we haven't
There's
done
a
a
romance with a high schooler in there too.
There is that for sure. I think they make a point that it's they're only supposed to be like mid-20s.
Yeah, it's 7 years later.
Only supposed to be mid-20s, but it still wouldn't be like super chill.
No.
They make a couple of references about Channing Tatum looking like he's 25.
Yeah. Because it's 20, I'm assuming is most of it's set in 2012 and they graduated 2005. So they would be like 25, I guess.
Yep.
By prom. So I'll say off the top, I like 22 Jump Street better. I think it goes even harder into the Lord and Miller stuff. It goes even harder into the self-referential and meta humor. But this has a lot of it too. They get told very early by Nick Offerman, Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec, that they're redoing a program from the 80s.
Yes.
What he calls it a program, like a TV program.
I actually panicked when he said that because it reminded me that this was like a remake, and I was like, wait a minute, was this a remake of a movie? Are we watching the wrong movie? And I had to like look it up. I was like, oh no, it was a TV show. We're good. All right.
Where it's everything, no one has ideas anymore, so we're just trying stuff that worked in the 80s.
Yeah.
And so you guys have to go do this thing.
Yep.
There's a lot more of that kind of humor in the sequel.
Oh, that's cool.
And also a lot of people directly pointing out that Jonah Hill looks like he's in his 40s. The movie ends with Ice Cube telling them they're going to college. They do. That's the sequel. They go to college.
Yep.
But yeah, I like a lot of this is a high school movie month, so the high school aspects, I think it gets kind of right. So 2012, that's not that long after we were in high school. And the sort of changing, I guess, clique structure of the cool people are really into the environment and kind of crunchy and like aren't into bullying in sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I also really like when they're walking through the parking lot. He's like, those are the nerds. Those are the cool kids. I don't know who they are. or them.
And so they were graduating in 2005. We wouldn't have overlapped with them at high school, but we weren't like that far behind them.
Yeah.
We would have gone in that following fall. And I think it captures that era pretty well right at the beginning.
Yeah, bullying was probably still cool then.
Yeah, I think bullying was pretty cool then.
It was almost cool when we were in high school, so I could see it.
Yeah. It was just fading away.
Yeah.
It was still sort of in, but it wasn't like the top thing.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know what. People got really into that assassin game, I guess. Remember that?
Nope.
You don't remember that?
No, dude, I don't remember my teachers' names.
Hey, fair enough. So this movie has some good stuff going on. That's what you say. That's what we usually say, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what people say with their words.
So movie-wise, and I guess you can put yourself in a 2012 mindset or maybe think about how you think of them now, but this, buddy cop movie starring Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill.
Yep.
Not a super obvious pairing, I feel like, at the time, but what's like your movie watcher relationship with those guys?
What do you mean? Like, what have I seen them in?
Yeah, that, or like, do you like them as actors? I guess more.
Yeah, I like both of them.
Jonah Hill more than Channing Tatum. I think that's probably why I avoided this movie, because I wasn't super into Channing Tatum as a actor at all.
I feel like I can't think of what I've seen Channing Tatum in, actually, but I feel like I do like him.
We did She's the Man pretty recently. Last time we did high school movies back in June. He's good in that.
The only thing I can think of that I've seen him in is he has a very small role in This Is the End.
I know, that's what
right?
I keep thinking, because they're both in it too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I honestly think I like him more than Jonah Hill.
Really?
Yeah.
I would say so.
I like Jonah Hill, but his like whole persona he usually does is just a bit, a little too much for me, I think. That
Maybe.
makes sense.
Yeah. Have you seen any of the Magic Mikes?
No.
No.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking to someone who went to see Magic Mike 3 in theaters, but yeah, I probably like Channing Tatum more. It was a total misplay. I went to the Fall River one forgetting they serve alcohol, and it was mostly like women in their 30s drinking in the screening with me.
That makes sense.
Nice.
Yeah. And me by myself.
Someone said that he looks like a foot, and I feel like he looks like a foot.
What?
Interesting. I think most people find him to be like an attractive guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
He usually
references.
plays characters that people find attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Is he? Did they legit cast only people who are a whole foot shorter than him? He is so huge looking in this movie.
They might have, yeah. I think Dave Franco is especially short too. Because I was going to say, I think he might be shorter than Brie Larson.
Yeah, Brie Larson's not tall. Jonah Hill's not tall. Like, I noticed
most actors are tiny folk.
Yeah, in the scene where they have the party and he has to fight all the people, I noticed he's like his whole like everyone else is like below his shoulders. He's so much bigger than all the other kids.
Yeah. Yeah, and anytime he's like sitting at a desk, he's just towering over everyone around him.
It's so funny.
It's funny, yeah. So I wonder if they're doing some like the Gandalf and Frodo stuff,
That's
and
what I
like
wonder,
someone
too, like-
standing on a box or something.
Yeah, if they're like
Or just Tom Cruise in any movie, someone standing on a box, you know.
Yeah, I really was wondering if they were intentionally trying to make him look even bigger than what he is, because it's really funny every time you see him.
Probably,
and
right?
he's like way too big.
Yeah, I like it.
I do like that they're just a horrible police officers.
Terrible.
Terrible.
So they almost bust a drug ring, a pretty high level one, towards the beginning of the movie. Jonah Hill's on his bike. Channing Tatum does a heroic dive, but he doesn't know what the Miranda rights are, so they have to drop the case. That's how they get shipped off to 21 Jump Street.
I liked that. That was funny.
That was a good joke.
Yeah.
I had thought they were gonna get off not because of the Miranda rights thing, but because of them like humping them and like he's shooting a gun off.
Yeah.
Like there's just they do so many things that are just horrible police things, but they don't really mention how bad. Like in the movie, they're just like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie has aged very poorly. I don't know if we're going to talk about this later, but I feel like it has aged very poorly.
No. We're not going to go in. I feel like with comedies, especially, like going by the plot is kind of silly. So whatever percolates to top of mind, let's tackle it.
Yeah.
The whole scene of them getting all their guns ready to sneak into prom, I was like, ooh, this isn't good.
That left a poor taste in the mouth.
A little bit. I was like, I don't think a movie would do this now.
It was touching. He told him his shotgun was hanging too low. People are going to see it under your coat.
Oh God. Yeah, there's the whole sneaking weapons into a school function, like adults sneaking into like children functions, like the bad police work, like the way that they like just shot people all the time.
Them shooting like on the car chase too. They're just like shooting at the highway. They're like taking people's cars.
Him kissing a high schooler. Like there was a lot of things in this that I feel like did not go over very well.
I guess it's like if you wanted to like, I don't think anyone on that team has like tried to be pedantic about it. But if you wanted to be pedantic, she kind of kisses him. But he obviously has a crush on her.
That wouldn't hold up in
yes.
court.
I do like that when every time he doesn't want to kiss her, he put her there, man.
Yeah, he tries to give her a handshake. She's not in the sequel, so at least like it's not like he pursued that relationship.
That's good.
Yeah. He was just in too deep, like Channing Tatum tells him. He's in too deep. He's applying for colleges now.
That killed me.
Was really funny.
I saw a college application on your desk.
I could get in.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd be a doctor or something.
That killed me.
It was really funny.
Yeah.
No, I mean it did age poorly, but it was still funny. But I was like,
still
they
funny.
wouldn't make this movie today.
They would do that differently for sure.
Yeah.
Some things are toned down a little bit from that perspective in 22 Jump Street. I don't remember as many guns, but I could just not be remembering the guns. I don't know. But there is a lot of shooting in this movie.
There's a lot of shooting.
And there's more car chases too.
Yeah, I did like when because they started
that particular car chase where they're shooting is very fun.
It's so funny, and they lay the seeds for it early, and I picked up on it like right away when they're on like the bikes, and it's like I really thought there'd be like more car chases and explosions, and I was like, oh, I'm really excited for the car chase full of explosions.
Yeah,
and they really do it. It's so good.
Yeah. That they keep like doing like the speed ramped zooms on like flammable gas and oil. And they're just like, oh, I thought that roll up the windows. Yeah.
What's that gonna do? I don't know. Just do it.
I really thought that exploded. That it's all the chickens that explode.
I didn't think that was gonna be the one to explode.
Exactly. Comedy's about surprising you. That's why you laugh. That's very well executed.
It was really good. It was
good.
really good.
Brie Larson, we have talked about a little bit before. This is a bigger role than her role in Scott Pilgrim.
I am always surprised to see her.
Yeah.
Same.
Basically every movie I've seen her in, and I'm always surprised that she's in it.
Yeah, I think this is the same year.
Yeah. Yeah, Scott Pilgrim, this one, Captain Marvel. I'm always like, you're in this?
Oh, sorry. Scott Pilgrim's 2010. So I'll tell you the sad.
She's young in this still. Then,
she's
right?
really young.
Yeah, because she's I think like 17 or 18 in Scott Pilgrim, and it's 2 years before that.
I was gonna say I was like, she actually looks like she could be a high schooler.
Yeah,
she is only 6 years younger than Jonah Hill. In the movie, their characters are 7 years apart, so they're actually closer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, or at least at this moment, he's 39, she's 33.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe their birthdays make it 7 at some point in the year. You know how numbers and birthdays work. We all know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, so my brain went, I remember going to the first movie I went to after the pandemic was the re-release of Scott Pilgrim for its 10-year anniversary. And that can't have been 3 years ago already. So I was like, that was probably last year. So that's why I thought that it was the same year as this, which is a 2012 movie. But nope, it's 2 years after Scott Pilgrim.
Yep.
Did much bigger role in this. She's good. I like Brie Larson a lot. I feel like this was more her vibe in movies, and her like very small role in a couple episodes of Community is also sort of along these lines. And then she wins an Oscar, and you're like, wow, this person can do anything. And they're always like, charming and kind of like breezy and seem like a fun person in all their roles and stuff. And ever since then, I just feel like she's just makes weird choices. I don't know. It's a thing that maybe just happens to all the Marvel people. It might not be her fault. Like Mark Ruffalo didn't get to make a serious movie for over a decade.
Yeah.
Dave Franco. I don't think we've talked about him before.
I don't think so.
We certainly haven't talked about James Franco before either. I know that for sure.
What else is Dave Franco in?
He has like one line in Superbad He's the kid who shit his pants.
Okay.
And he's like, that was like 8 years ago. And Jonah Hill says, like, people don't forget. Well, it's while they're playing soccer.
Sure.
And because I was like in a really dark place at one time when I was living by myself in North Carolina. So, of course, I was listening to a lot of DVDs and then rewatching them with the DVD commentary. Because that's what you do when you're in a really dark place.
No.
And they like record them sort of when the movie actually was made. So for the Superbad one, they were like, "Oh yeah, and that's our buddy's like kid brother. We thought it'd be funny to put him in the movie." And like, that's Dave Franco. He's married to Allison Brie now.
Is he? Huh.
Yeah, she was in Community and Mad Men. You know who that is?
Yeah.
Yes, another. I'm pretty sure she's taller than him too, but so is everyone. He's in a bunch of stuff. I don't know why it didn't come to mind. I'm sorry.
I'm on his
I thought vamping for a while maybe it'd pop up.
Yeah, no, I feel like I've seen her in a bunch of stuff, but I'm looking at his IMDb and I'm like, I don't remember seeing any of these movies.
And then a ton of character actors all over the place, coming out of like every corner of this. Ellie Kemper is maybe the most prominent one, is the teacher who has a huge immediate crush on Channing Tatum.
Yes, I like that a lot.
Yeah. The main thing that Ice Cube tells them in like the scene before that is you can't have sex with any students or teachers. And like the first class he goes to, Ellie Kemper like obviously wants to have sex with him very badly.
Yes.
That was some weird rules, by the way. He's like, there's 3 rules. Don't get expelled. It's like, okay, like, I don't know. What are you doing to be expelled? I don't know.
Well, they get threatened with expulsion immediately.
Immediately.
Before they even go to a class.
It's like, this is not how this works.
Yeah.
This is not how any of this works, but I don't know. And then, don't have sex with any students or teachers. I'm like, you really have to tell your like police officers this when you're like, I don't know. And what was the third one?
It's like an HR thing. They have to cover their ass, you know?
Yeah.
Was the third one don't do drugs?
It was don't take the first 2 rules too seriously.
Was it?
No.
No. I mean, you have to do like HR compliance things that tell you very obvious things, right?
Yeah, we had to do that. Like, I had to do one of those sexual harassment trainings that are like, don't
do it.
Don't have sex with students.
Yeah.
I know this seems like a normal, friendly thing to do, but stop sending pictures of your dick to all of your coworkers.
I know it seems fine, but don't slap your coworkers' asses.
And then there's like a pop quiz that pops up like, but is it okay at Christmas?
Yes.
It's like, no, it's still not okay.
This is very accurate. Yeah, it was basically that.
If you do it outside of work hours, though, it's a gray area.
Yes.
The last one of those trainings that I was in, I had somebody like arguing with the instructor that what they were saying was not harassment. I was like, oh God.
You never want to be that guy.
No.
And then another instructor should have walked in and been like, so who can tell me what the harassment was here? It's like, all right, you 2 pause.
So yeah, in case you think it is obvious to everybody, apparently it is not.
Nope.
No,
it's not.
I would say people who tend to be particularly bad cops, perhaps it wouldn't be obvious to.
Yeah, like
or
these
just
guys.
cops in general, but especially like the ones who aren't good at even that.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. I was very confused by like all of their like coworkers because I thought they were all going to the same high school. And
Different high schools.
it took me a while to figure out that they were not all at the same school.
Yeah, and seemingly rotating around once they have like solved their case or whatever.
Yeah.
Going They mentioned a couple times that they only picked all these people because they look like kids.
Yeah.
They're nothing to do with their skills or abilities as police officers.
No, but they were particularly immature.
Yes.
I guess, I mean, they have a few lines, but the sort of rivals at the Jump Street home base of the Korean church.
Yes.
Dakota Johnson's one of those people. She doesn't have that many lines, but she's in the background of a lot of shots while they're there. She's very famous now.
Yeah.
Just back then, she was just a nepotism baby.
Yeah.
I like that Korean Jesus is there.
Korean Jesus can't help.
Yeah. Korean Jesus
got Korean stuff to do.
Ain't got time for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Korean stuff to do. That like killed me. I think, honestly, I think the funniest part of the whole movie, I think, is every time they run back to the police headquarters for something.
Yeah.
Like
Ice Cube is very good in this movie.
And then they need the car, so they're like at the impound lot, and they want stuff for the party. Then they're at the drug evidence thing.
Oh, where are we going to get drugs?
Start
And they start laughing.
It's really funny.
Pound of
was really
cocaine. We
funny.
don't want to ruin their lives.
Yeah, we gotta show them a good time, not ruin that.
Yeah.
I love too when they get the pound of marijuana. It's all in like a sealed bag. He
They
just
put it
puts
in
in a
like
bowl.
They
and
take the
just
sticker off. Yeah.
kills me.
That's awesome.
So good.
I like that the church that they're meeting at is called like Aroma of Christ Church.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's just so weird. Yeah.
There was a couple of little jokes like that, though. They weren't super,
No.
I don't know, they weren't super obvious, but they were really funny when you sat down and thought about it.
Yes. That's that Lord and Miller flavor coming through that gets
I think
turned
it
up
is.
a lot for the sequel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't like, I think that's just their style. They don't like linger on jokes. They don't let you like,
No.
they don't pause to let you laugh about it. They just say something funny and move on. And then you have to be like, wait a second, that was actually really funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, and I
So
love
good.
that.
Because they're real quick. They do not give you any time to like think about what just happened. It's just like,
Yeah.
hey, let's keep going.
Pretty early on, there's the sequence of them having to take the drugs to prove they're not narcs, and then like being on the drugs in the middle of the school day.
Yes.
Talking to Rob Riggle at first, and then going through the different phases with like the pop up on screen of those different phases.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that sequence. It's good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can like easily overdo or kind of like the least funny thing is people badly pretending to be drunk or inebriated
Yes.
in some or like on drugs. It can just be so hacky and so non-funny. But I think it's really funny here.
Yeah, I
I think
I
they
liked
did a
it.
good job with it.
I like when Rob Riggle's head turns into like a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic kind of thing.
I really like when his eyebrows leave.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
they go-
turn into a mustache.
Yes, that's great.
That was the best, I think.
It's really
Like,
good.
His reaction to Jonah Hill, like sticking his tongue out, I was like, I don't like that. Put your tongue back.
Yeah, like,
I don't like that.
I like Rob Riggle a lot in this,
Yeah.
actually.
Then when Channing Tatum's doing a thing, he's like, actually, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, Rob Riggle was really good in this.
I don't know why I did not expect them at all to like switch identities by mistake.
I knew it was going to happen. It was
Yes,
so
they're
fun.
I
like-
don't know why I didn't
And
expect
they had a whole scene of Ice Cube being like, we picked you the perfect identities. Everything is really tailored to your interests and abilities.
I should have known it was coming, and I
Yes.
just
Yeah.
did not.
When they're in the
expect it.
principal's office and he's like, so who's Doug? And they're just both quiet. Like, okay, we're going to try that again, but don't be weird about it this time.
Yeah, do it like you're not weird. The principal played by Jake Johnson.
Great.
Speaking of character actors,
Yeah, they have a lot. Like
most
the cast
famously
is real
Nick
good.
from New Girl.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess we can just rattle off some of the other ones. They're also in the movie, and I forgot them all. But there's a lot of them. Make no mistake. I got hung up on so Johnny Depp and the other one from the TV show up in that cameo at the end. But the person who signs out the car to them was also in 21 Jump Street, the show.
Oh, really?
Yes, she was like one of the main characters with those two guys. Never watched it. Grain of salt. Maybe she's not, but this is what Wikipedia said.
I really like that Johnny Depp even mentions that he was in 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
I was we came from there.
Yeah. It's a continuation. It's technically a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. They specifically like said in interviews, like, yeah, all that stuff happened and now this is happening.
Huh.
Even like the non-famous sort of ringers that you bring in for just a scene or oh yeah, Chris Parnell's the other big one, the drama teacher
Oh, yeah.
from SNL, from some of the funniest jokes in 30 Rock. Yeah. From the first big viral video from Lonely Island, Lazy Sunday, where they're talking about muffins and past the chronic, what culls of Narnia, that, you know.
Yeah, he was really good in this. He was really funny.
Oh God. So, Officer Judy Hoffs, is she the one that
Must be.
Yeah, but that just made me realize that the Zootopia police officer is Judy Hopps. So it's a
Oh, God. It's a reference.
yeah.
Shit.
Huh.
I never knew.
I didn't know either. Don't like it.
I really like the opening scene when they finally get to the high school, and he punches the gay black kid. It's like, I just punched you, and then you were gay. Like,
I was gay when you punched me. Yeah.
You punched
In
me.
a way, it would be more, or like in a way, it'd be worse if he didn't punch him because he was gay.
Yeah, he'd
Or whatever.
be homophobic if he didn't.
Yeah,
punch
it'd be
you.
more.
But all the stuff they do when they first get there, because they're like, this will make us look cool. Them pulling, he's like, pull into the handicap spot. It'll be cool.
Yeah. People think we're cool. Yeah. Yes.
And then punching the kid. And,
yeah, but
And then they get the boot because they've been there so
you
long.
said the
with all
tickets would make it look cool.
yeah. It's good stuff.
Are parking tickets cool?
Yeah, they make you look like you don't care, which is not what people think are cool anymore in 2012.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like this movie a lot. I think it's good. That's me though.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was much better than I had thought it was going to be when I saw the previews for it in 2012.
Yeah,
This is kind of what I expected. I got what I wanted out of this one.
I liked it more than I didn't put an effort to go and see it in 2012 because I was like, this is just going to be a so-so comedy. But I thought it was good.
yeah. I like it. It's technically the highest grossing high school comedy of all time.
Wow, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh wow, it crushed, huh?
yeah. Kind of crushed.
Damn.
I think people were big into Channing Tatum at this time.
I was gonna say Channing Tatum and even Jonah Hill too. I feel like are pretty big draws.
Yeah, yeah. They both executive produced this movie. Jonah Hill
I noticed that too.
writes a treatment for it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he gets a story by credit.
Yeah, I saw that.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, and he stars in it too.
I did
Really?
not know
Yeah.
that.
No, I didn't.
I know this sounds like we're wrapping up, but we really only talked about like the first third of the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Jonah Hill's getting more into the drug ring by hanging out with the cool kids. Channing Tatum is more on like the information gathering and like the almost kind of, espionage and wiretapping side of things with the nerd kids. I like all those nerd kids. I don't know if they've been in anything else.
I feel like the lead kid kind of looked familiar to me, but I can't place him. So
Yeah, I don't know either. I like him though. That feels like a fairly unembellished representation of what like the nerdy kids do when they hang out with themselves. They're just like playing Rock Band or like the legally distinct version of Rock Band that they were playing.
yes.
And, pretending to have lightsabers and just like making bad jokes.
He was in Project X, maybe?
Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know if I've seen that, so.
That was good. I like that they had those prostitutes and doves when they got to prom.
That was great.
That. When they came out with the prostitutes, I was like dying.
Very fun. But at a house party that they put on in order to, because they're bad at their job and in order to give kids alcohol and have fun.
I was like, they're such bad police officers.
Yeah. But Channing Tatum actually does successfully, with the help of the nerds, put a bug into Dave Franco's phone that gets like good intel. Eventually.
Yes. And I like that Jonah Hill's mad about it. I like that there's a lot of the movie is just the strain on their relationship.
Yes.
Like,
with Jonah Hill actually being popular and being more into that than doing his job.
yes.
Why do they force him to go live with his parents? That makes no sense to me.
I think it's because, I guess you could just live somewhere normal and be like, oh, anytime your friends come over, be like, yeah, my parents work the shift that's now or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it just needed to be like that.
It's
and
okay.
I don't know. It's a comedy.
It's
What
a
do you want?
comedy. It's a comedy.
His mom is the mom of one of the characters in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. She has the same vibe in that too.
I like the parents
The
a
parents
lot.
were good.
Yeah.
Yep.
The mom's Robert
You
Downey
think
Jr.
I don't know about Dick and Balls? I partied with Robert Downey Jr. before he was sober, when he was fun.
That was really good.
Yeah.
That killed me.
And they had the
Maybe it's just an airplane thrown up.
participation ribbon up.
Yeah.
You get that for trying. You're a
I
good
love
trier.
I really
He's always
like
been a good
when they're in the middle of they're getting ready for prom, they're strapping all their guns on, and the mom's like, you gotta do your chores. And then Channing Tatum's like mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
And he had the weird, like, it wasn't even a baby photo up, that weird, like,
Yeah, that's a naked 8-year-old.
he's like, am I wearing underwear in this picture? I'll tell you I'm not, because I talked to my therapist about it like 10 times.
Yeah. It seems like those are actual like baby pictures of
It does.
Jonah
It did
Hill.
seem like that, yeah.
Whereas like the one Channing Tatum puts up is like from pretty far away. You assume it probably is him, but it's not
Yeah.
like as obviously
Yeah.
like that they say he looks like a young Jay Leno.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he really does.
He does.
That party scene is, I forgot there was such an extended fight sequence at the end of
There's
that.
a really, yeah, it's because it kind of happened, like, they're mostly showing Jonah Hill, like, slapping that kid, but Channing Tatum is, like, constantly fighting people the whole time it's happening. Like, 10 kids. Just beating the shit out of all these kids.
Beating up kids.
He breaks one of the, like, antique African pots
Over the guy's head,
yeah, and then it turns out he's been stabbed.
He's like,
I
that's
love it's
awesome.
like, when did I get stabbed?
It was a good reveal, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
It was a really good reveal.
I actually really liked the whole party scene.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
I thought
good.
it was all
Good.
really funny. Yeah.
I like the tension of like Dave Franco's leaving and it's not done yet. That leads into like the fight scene where it's like it actually sort of works out the way he wanted. That like then he's just in with that crowd, and it's sort of like very, very irresponsible, but like a very fun scene. And then they run away when his mom gets home.
I love it.
And we already mentioned like all the jokes from like the aftermath of that when she's mad and yelling at them about dick and balls. And stuff.
Yes.
I like that Channing Tatum says it's like it's an airplane that's throwing up.
Yeah. Maybe it's an airplane. Maybe it's an airplane that's throwing it.
Yeah. What kind of person would draw that on an 8-year-old's face?
And he's giving the tour of the house, and he opens the door of the parents' bedroom. He's like, and that's a really weird three-way.
Yes. Yes.
Then like it's under as like they're switching the scene, someone goes, "What was the girl in the back doing?" So it's funny because I've seen this movie, I think mostly on TV, and there are a number of scenes or very short shots that are not in the TV version of this movie.
Really?
That's one of them.
No.
Actually, a lot of Johnny Depp's lines aren't in it either.
Oh, really?
When the guy says, like, you played trumpet at my sister's wedding.
Oh, yeah.
He says, yeah, and I fucked her too.
Yes.
That part, just the part where he says, like, you were in my sister's wedding. And that was, then it just, like, moves on to the next line or whatever.
Yeah, this I feel like this had a lot of funny stuff. It was very quotable.
Yeah. So they're drifting apart. They're hanging out with their own crowds. They're wiretapping Jonah Hill and Dave Franco's sort of get together party with like bad guitar playing about, like Mother Earth and that bitch is crying or something like that. And he overhears him being mean about it. Well, they first overhear him asking, a teenager to the prom.
Yep.
And he does literally choke, but then ends up doing it. But then like shakes her hand when she goes to kiss him.
Yep.
And then he's being really mean about Channing Tatum. They overhear that too.
Yeah, Jonah Hill's a dick in this movie, huh? Channing
those
Tatum doesn't do
movies.
anything wrong.
No, not really.
No.
He doesn't have sex with any students or fall in love with any of them.
He does have sex with a teacher over the end credits, but
That's okay though. That he had
Yeah, the
he
movie's
was out of
over at that
school.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're both, it's out there that he's an adult at that point.
Yeah. It's cool at that point.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's totally. So
But yeah, Jonah Hill sucks.
he
Channing
sucks. He's
Tatum did
mean.
nothing wrong.
That can't be how wiretaps work, right? Where you just hear anything that's in the vicinity of the phone, right?
I think the phone has to be actively making a call.
That's what I would think.
I think legally,
I was
you can
gonna
only
say, I was
listen
like, you
for
can't
so
do this,
long.
right? Don't you need a warrant?
All of my information about wiretapping is from watching The Wire, but I know there's specific like limits to how long you can listen and stuff like that. But they're mostly going rogue with everything they're doing.
Yeah, they're not good
Yes.
And
police
it's not,
officers.
It's not a court-ordered wiretap in this. It's just
Yeah.
like these nerds put a bug in this guy's phone and he's
Right.
listening.
It doesn't seem
Maybe
loud.
he probably shouldn't do that, but maybe he's in a gray area of like, these kids did that and I was just in the room when they were listening or whatever.
See, I haven't seen enough of this in the police shows. What does Channing Tatum say in this? They always cut away before they finish the Miranda rights.
Yes,
They do.
it's true.
They
It's
do.
funny. He still should have probably had those down, right? Anyway, so that's what he hears Jonah Hill being mean to him while the play is about to start, the Peter Pan play, which is happening, I guess, in the middle of the school day. And Channing Tatum is giving a speech about sodium something.
It's about what?
About like sodium nitrate.
Oh,
something
yeah,
like
I
that.
forget what he is.
Potassium something.
Oh, yeah. Potassium, yeah.
Potassium something, yeah.
He sees the pinata going out. He overheard on the wiretaps something about a pinata, so he grabs Jonah Hill out of there. And then we already talked about that chase scene.
It's so good.
It's really good, yeah.
Check the glove of Kumar for a gun. We're in a little pink car. It's not going to have a gun. Oh.
I like when they're carjacking that lady. He keeps telling her how hot she is, and he'll come back for her later.
Yeah, someone will pick you up.
Yeah.
They just punch the guy out who has the Porsche.
Butted him. Yeah.
I love, too, that they start by stealing the driving school car, and they both have a wheel, and they both have brakes.
Yeah. It's a good bit.
It's a really good bit.
It is.
It's a good bit. It's funny, and it's also playing out that interpersonal tension between them.
Mm-hmm.
It's working on a lot of levels.
Yeah, it was really good.
He gets back. He's late for the play, but he's obnoxious, and they get expelled.
Yeah.
He tars them,
Yeah.
runs out, and takes the show back.
He does tar that elder guy, huh?
Yeah, he does.
Ray really liked when Jake Johnson runs up on stage and is pulling apart and just yelling, "You're expelled! You're both expelled!" And she's like, "Yes, because that's how they do this."
Yep.
That's how people get expelled.
Yes.
That's it. You're expelled.
100%.
You're both expelled.
Yeah. Now then, none of the people they were friends with will take their calls or whatever, and then more just Jonah Hill with Brie Larson, I guess. Dave Franco shows up at their house and says, "Get in the car," and he invites them to the drug deal because he needs people he can trust at the prom. So they get ready for prom, and then it's the prom scene.
And I saw you guys at the play. You guys are definitely not cops.
He makes
Yeah.
he's like, "Hello, you were a cop because you're like 25."
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
when he has them shoot the guns too. Oh wow, you guys are like really good at this.
Beginner's luck. Then it's the prom scene, and yeah, people have guns there. The prom seems like a nice prom for the most part. Brie Larson's on the drugs, though.
We died when they walked into the prom and they like put the camera up a little bit. You see the banner. It says "One Night in Tijuana."
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
Wasn't our theme One Night in Paris?
Yes.
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 Yeah, which is the name of that porn film.
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Yeah, that adult film is also named that.
Yep. I don't think it's
Yes.
a coincidence.
They gave us mugs.
Yes.
What? Why?
Yeah.
They wanted us to drink, clearly.
Yeah.
It's weird. I've never used that. It says One Night in Paris in it, a very famous pornographic film.
Yeah. Weird. You can't use
I
it.
don't have that on display.
I have it somewhere. Packed away, I think.
Do we still have that?
I have one somewhere.
Yeah.
We're talking about the mugs?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's packed away somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people knew at the time too.
Yeah, no, just post that.
Yeah.
Paris Hilton was very famous at the time.
I think
Yeah.
it was intentional. No?
You think like some kids pitched it and the adults checking didn't like Google it?
Well, I think maybe no adult wants to step forward and be like, "Oh, we can't do that. It's the name of that porno."
Huh.
I did a required cursory Google search like we always do, like we have done every time, and it turns out we shouldn't use this.
Yeah.
I didn't know about this already.
That's what I assumed. I assumed someone was like, "Oh, it'll be funny. Let's pick this and see what they say." And then no one wants to be the one to step up and be like, "No,
And-
that's the porno."
It just went too far.
Yeah.
I hope that's the story.
Right. If I was a teacher, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, you can't. That's a porno. You can't do that."
Oh, wait. I mean, I looked it up. I heard someone else talking about it already and had time to look it up separately. I was gonna say that like it was like a cultural thing. It was like very well known that was the name of the movie that she was in, and then was famous after that.
Yeah. So how did nobody stop that from
I
happening?
remember being baffled at the time, and I'm baffled now.
Yeah.
And there was no drug exchange like this at our prom.
Not that we know of.
I
Yeah.
didn't get to shoot anybody.
Not that I know of.
But anyway, the fact that it was called One Night in Tijuana made me laugh because
Yep.
ours was One Night in Paris. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, this is just hitting the nail on the head right here.
The whole time they were getting ready for the prom and they were putting all their guns on and stuff, all I could think was like, you guys aren't police officers anymore. You shouldn't bring all these guns to a children's event.
Yeah, it's kind of addressed when they go back to 21 Jump Street after the arrest.
He said something about them being vigilantes.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Because
Yeah.
they were explicitly fired.
Yeah, they were
And we're
not
not
police
cops.
officers
Yeah.
anymore. They were just,
The only thing I could think of was from the police officer from Bridesmaids when he's trying to convince her to still bake, and he says something like, "If I wasn't a cop anymore, I'd still carry around a gun and shoot people." That's all I can think of.
Oh man, I haven't thought about Bridesmaids in forever.
I love Bridesmaids.
What theme would that be? Weddings?
And I feel like this movie does have a lot of the like classic scenes that you would expect in a high school movie, but I feel like they were all done very well and a little different than normal. So,
Yes.
you know, because it's got the party scene,
Yeah.
and it's got the prom scene.
It's got the showing up your first day at school and identifying the different cliques.
Yep.
Which happens in Clueless and Heathers and Mean Girls. Yeah.
Yep.
It does all that, but it's different because
different.
because Channing Tatum's wrong about what is happening social dynamic wise.
Yeah.
And that's just fun. So yeah, the end, they shoot Rob Riggle's dick off.
Yes.
In the TV version, they don't show his dick on the ground and him trying to pick it up with his mouth.
I don't think they needed that.
I forgot that happened.
They didn't need
and thought
that.
that was a bit like, whoa, I forgot that was in there.
That was a bit over.
I mean, it looks like a kind of just a rubber cylinder, I guess.
Yeah.
They didn't make it look too...
I like the whole limo chase. I like that there's a girl in the back of their limo.
trying to suck.
And he's doing, stop it.
I'd like slap her.
Yeah, he's like hitting her. And they like kick her out of the...
Yeah, she's like, let me know where you guys end up later.
Yeah. I like that a lot. And I like when he...
Figures out like the chemistry to make an actual explosion.
And he throws it and he's like, what's it supposed to do? And he's like, I thought it was going to explode. And then it like explode. When they do the explosion too, they like chuck that dude's charred corpse out of that limo.
Yes.
I really like that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That like, it's really quick. His charred corpse just like falls right out.
This movie was a little bit more graphic than I thought it would be for like what it is.
You'd like the TV version because like most of that stuff is way fucking toned down.
Well, no, but I thought it was like funny because I was not expecting it at all. You know, like it doesn't need to be
Doesn't
that
really
graphic.
have that tone.
No, so like the fact that it happened was
The
funnier.
the shootout scene too, when Johnny Depp reveals himself and he immediately gets like shot through the throat, and then they just like shoot him like 50 times. He's like, dying over there. And then when they like are running out of there too, and he's like, holy shit, you like killed a dude back there, and he goes, and he just like throws him.
Yeah. It's super funny. So yeah, Dave Franco gets arrested, Rob Riggle gets his dick shot off and then arrested.
They read him their Miranda rights.
Yeah.
That's it's really good. You know,
with fuck you in unison.
yes, and you know that's coming the whole time,
Yes.
like from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But when it finally happens,
It's a tight script.
yeah, when it finally happened, you're like, oh yeah, yeah, it's really really good.
Yeah, it's a really well-made movie for a concept that really shouldn't be that interesting, of just rehashing a TV show that isn't like that super well remembered, only remembered because a guy who became really famous kind of jumpstarted his career there. Yeah, I don't know. I like this movie a lot. I think we can get into ratings unless there's anything else we want to talk about with the movie. I mean, we mentioned my least favorite reveal in all of movies. A character was secretly Johnny Depp the whole time. But aside from that,
That like killed us.
yeah.
So least favorite reveal in all of
It was great.
Yeah.
I died because I was like, oh man, this is Ben's thing here.
It was even worse when it went from Colin Farrell, who I love, to Johnny Depp.
Yes.
Then there was that whole terrible movie where he was Grindelwald, and then he wasn't anymore. And I watched all of those movies in theaters, and because I'm stupid.
You are stupid.
We talked a little bit about the drug montage that happens earlier, but not all of it when he doing like the super confident part of it, where he does his Peter Pan audition and like the relay race.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The relay race is funny.
Yeah.
I did like them watching the. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you go.
I liked the YouTube video reveal of the like what the drug does basically, and they were like, "Oh, I could watch this kid all day." And like, well, he's dead. I'm like,
That
oh,
was good.
Rules.
Yeah.
Ruled. I think that's Evan Peters from American Horror Story and Quicksilver and a couple of the X-Men
I
movies.
thought it was okay. I feel like there was so many people in this movie that I looked at them like you.
A bunch
know
of people.
you.
Bunch of people are like people
Was the girl
in this
in the
movie.
limo someone?
I don't know. Oh, that's Brie Larson or the other limo.
okay.
You mean?
I thought Brie Larson was really charming in this movie.
She was very charming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened.
I know we talked about it already, but
I don't think she's not anymore. I just think it's like her as Captain Marvel is not the same vibe.
She lost a lot of her charm after that dude kept her trapped in that room for 20 years.
Yeah, in her defense.
That really does. You lose a lot of your sparkle.
Yeah,
It's not her
Yeah,
fault.
you lose your
I can
sparkle.
see that.
So let's get to ratings. Every week I'll take these ratings and put them on Letterboxd. It's a lie.
Blatant lie.
I haven't done it for a few months. I will eventually. Right now, you know what it is? It's a timed exclusive. If you listen to the episode, you know what ratings we gave them at this point, at least 4 months before the people who only follow us on Letterboxd. So it's this is basically a Patreon exclusive that you're paying for with your time that you can never get back.
Wasted it.
And so we're going to do this on a scale of 0.5 to 5 on any scale of your choosing, except stars, and going up by 0.5 increments. What would you give 21 Jump Street?
I think I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 secret Johnny Depp reveals.
I wish I could give it 3.75,
but you can't. This is a
can't.
classic 3.75.
It really is.
And there's 3 of us, so we can't get there as a group either.
All right, it's going to be 3.5 wandering eyebrows.
Sounds good. With the caveat that if you had gone 4, I'd have gone 3.5. I'll say 4. It's better than a 3.5.
Yeah, it is, but it's not quite a 4.
Agreed.
This gets it to like a 3.6 repeating or something like that. I don't know.
I can live with 3.6 repeating.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give this 4 Korean Jesuses out of 5.
Yeah.
Korean Jesus, yeah.
Yeah. That about does it for the movie. But you have a bit of connective tissue stringing all these episodes together for High School Movie Month, September 2023 edition. Parentheses, late to the movies version. And parentheses. So this time around, the question is, if a movie was to be made about your time in high school, who would you want to play you?
Before I answer that, is there still one more movie this month?
Yeah.
A little test to see if this person, whoever is in it, is listening to the episodes. When you go to ask them the question, ask them to share their most embarrassing high school moment. See if they do, and they'd be like, no, I'm just fucking with you. This is the real question. You should have listened.
You should have listened. I should have more traps.
You should have more traps. I don't know why. That's the question I was expecting you just now to ask.
Yeah, I should
share
have
your
more
most
traps.
embarrassing high school moment. Who's playing me in a high school movie?
Who would you want to play you in a high school movie? You can do like reality versus perception. Who would you want versus who actually would?
Like probably a female version of Michael Cera.
I was gonna say
Michael Cera has come up a lot this month for this question.
I was gonna say Michael Cera too.
I feel like there's not.
You can keep it in Superbad. Go to Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
Oh yeah, that's a good pick too. Actually, yeah. Who would I want? Maybe Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
I feel like
in this movie specifically.
Are there any female actors that give off the Michael Cera vibes? I feel like there's not.
I mean, no. So specifically Superbad, Arrested Development, Michael Cera, current Michael Cera, Scott Pilgrim, Michael Cera.
Probably super bad, Michael Cera.
They're all the same color, but they're different shades.
They are, yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm thinking, who's the female version? I can't think of a good one.
I mean, as much as like Booksmart was sort of like the female version of Superbad, I guess Caitlin Dever would have been the Michael Cera character, considering literally Jonah Hill's sister is the Jonah Hill character in that movie. It's different, but you know.
Yeah. Someone just awkward and weird and I don't know, kind of nerdy.
I also say you can take it from any period of time, so you can be like, 80s Broderick or
okay,
something.
that does help. That does help.
Doesn't specifically have to be.
I immediately thought of Michael Cera, and I was trying to think when he was weirdest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, his most awkward, like, while in high school version is probably Arrested Development, I guess.
See, I haven't seen Arrested Development.
Oh, you'd like it.
I know people have told me that a million times.
And you can stop cold after the first 3 seasons.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
It's good to know.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with Michael Cera.
I think that's fair. A lot of people have, like I said.
I figured.
I think ideally,
to an extent, Aubrey Plaza, maybe.
I was gonna say Aubrey Plaza
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the other one I was thinking about, but I wasn't
they
that
also
jaded.
dated around Scott Pilgrim when it came out. So.
I wasn't jaded enough in high school to be Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, maybe Anna Kendrick.
Okay.
No, it'd probably be like a character actor because I'd probably be a tertiary like background character. Honestly, it's gonna be
For
someone.
your own high school movie
Yeah,
story?
it's gonna
Okay.
be someone else's story. I'm just like,
I agree. Yeah, yeah.
You're just like a local person from an actual school that they just pulled in because they needed someone
yeah,
in the
I'm just
background.
playing me.
Yeah. It's just you.
Yeah, it's just me.
Mentioned The Wire earlier. Some of those were just like actual cops because they wanted people who had terrible Baltimore accents and seemed like cops in the in tertiary roles.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe it would just be me.
I'm trying to think about.
like
I don't
that.
know. I guess I've never really thought about
No, yeah, it'd be some.
maybe one of like the unnamed characters from Mean Girls that they like interview off to the side, like the girl that made out with the hot dog and like the girl that was
I
like.
remember when you made out with a hot dog in high school?
Yeah, I remember when Katie Aaron wore army pants and flip flops, so I wore army pants and flip flops. Like one of those people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really sad. That's how you guys see yourselves. But okay.
High school Greg was not cool.
I get it though. Like no one in high school, if you really think about it, was really like, shouldering the entire plot line of a film
No,
that would be like theatrically released. So,
no.
Like I said,
it's
tertiary.
mostly boring, I guess.
Tertiary at best.
Yeah.
I mean,
you were
some
having a
people
normal
were, but
time.
not us.
Yeah.
We were just doing our thing.
Yeah. I don't know. That'd be some guy doing something. I don't know. Probably also. All right. Good answers. All right. Thanks for being on, Ray and Greg. Okay. And I'm glad you had such a good time and are always happy to be on. And thanks for having you.
Thanks for having me. I'm always happy to be here in my house.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, you seem happy to be here. It's a
I
good
am.
thing. Yeah,
Nice.
you need peace at home. It seems really peaceful when I'm here around 9.
It is peaceful around 9.
Yeah.
Oh wait, before we go, I just looked it up because I was like, man,
Yeah.
I really thought that limo person, like
Was a
the girl in
person?
the limo was a person. It's Kathy from The Office. I thought it was too. I saw her and I was like, this looks like Kathy. This can't be Kathy. It is.
There you go.
So there you go.
Who's that?
From The Office, Kathy?
Yeah, like when
Who's
is
the actress?
this like a later season or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The final season, I want to say.
Yeah.
I don't have much recall for that season. I'd say.
It's like the worst one.
Good to know. That's why she looks so familiar to you guys. And for me, I was just like, I've never seen that person before in my life.
Right. Yes.
You can find us by going to our link tree, which is linktr.ee/late to the movies. Just spell it out. No numbers needed. For some reason, when you pull it up at first and you click on podcast players, it like doesn't work. But then if you just wait a little bit, it'll work or refresh or something. I think that's a link tree thing. I don't think it's my fault, so I'm not embarrassed to mention it here. But also links to our merch and our Instagram and our blog. The blog one's not on there, but if you ask me enough, I'll put up a blog post. Everyone keeps asking.
People are dying for your blog.
Everyone keeps emailing Noah. When's he gonna blog? Keep us updated. Is there a mailing list yet for your newsletter?
Please email Noah.
Please email Noah at I don't know if the link's there, but if it's not, the link to the website's there and Noah's email's there. It's just his email at this point. What else? Yes. Movies forever. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? What would be a good way to finish this episode? We should have said the Miranda rights.
We should have said them. I was thinking the same thing, but they only say the beginning part in the TV. You have the right
How
to
far can
remain
you get?
silent.
How far can you guys get?
Anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be provided to you. Do you understand your rights as they have been read to you today? Is that right?
Fuck you. and then high five while jumping.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.